Hello everyone and welcome back to my Senate election prediction videos, and this is it. This is the last Senate race we're covering, and it is the state of Nevada and a seat currently held by the Democratic Party and Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. Senator Masto is at the end of her first term. In 2016, Senator Masto won election to the Senate with a margin of victory of 2%. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won the state of Nevada by 2% over Donald Trump. And in 2020, Joe Biden won the state of Nevada, again for the Democrats, by 2% over Donald Trump. The two nominees. On the Democratic side, the incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto easily won her primary against token opposition, the regular opposition that sometimes a senator faces from their own party of perennial candidates and joke candidates. She won with over 90% of the vote in the Democratic primary. Prior to serving in the Senate, Senator Masto was a representative in the House of Representatives, and prior to that served as the Attorney General of the state of Nevada. And in the Senate in 2020, she led the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee and was for a time mentioned as a possible running mate for now President Biden, but she took herself out of the running after about a month of speculation that she might be the nominee, so she could focus on helping Democrats win the Senate. On the Republican side, the Republican nominee is Adam Paul Laxalt. Mr. Laxalt is a well-known figure in Nevada politics. He is the namesake of a former governor and senator. That Mr. Laxalt is named for his grandfather, Paul Laxalt. He was raised by his single mother and spent most of his young life growing up and splitting his time between Nevada and Washington, D.C. Mr. Laxalt started his political career as the Attorney General of the state of Nevada, serving one term as the Attorney General of the state. In 2018, he was the Republican nominee for governor, losing a close race for the governorship in that cycle. But it was a Democratic wave year, and he came up short. And the state, he would have been succeeding a term limited Republican. So the state was that normal ebb and flow of a Republican to Democrat that you often see in swing states, which Nevada certainly fits the bill of. Mr. Laxalt was involved in Donald Trump's attempt to overturn the election results in Nevada in the aftermath of the 2020 presidential election. Mr. Laxalt is one of the more peculiar candidates, Republican Senate candidates, running in a competitive race or for an open seat because he was supported from the start by both Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump. Mr. Laxalt easily won his Republican primary. He did have some significant opposition from some other candidates. He didn't win it with 90% of the vote. He got about 57% of the vote, I believe. But the other candidates ran far behind him. Although there was some belief by some near the end that the race might be closer, but in the end, Laxalt won. If you take a look at the ballots cast in the Republican primary, about 228,000 were cast in the Republican primary, and about 175,000 were cast in the Democratic primary. So about a 56 to 43 split. However, I'm going to note again, like in a lot of other states where we've discussed these races, the Republicans had competitive congressional primaries, they had a competitive senatorial primary, and they had a competitive gubernatorial primary. And Democrats didn't have that. That's just how it goes. This race, it's what it is. Sometimes, some years you get one side will have a competitive slate of primaries and the other won't. That's just how it goes. However, let's talk about the state of the race. This race has been close since the minute both Senator Masto announced her intention to seek re-election and former Attorney General Laxalt announced his intention to seek the Senate seat. Laxalt has led polling for a good portion of this race. Senator Masto has been raising an incredible amount of money, and Laxalt has been raising money and also receiving support from Republican super PACs. And this is one of those races where it's just neck and neck, and the polls show that. It has tightened in the past couple of weeks, and really since September, it has been a dead heat. I think this is one of those ones, though, where the political environment is just too much to overcome. I think two things are making this race different. One, Laxalt is a known political name in the state, and well respected among Republicans. And Senator Masto, while an historic figure, is running in a terrible year for Democratic candidates. And if this race was held in any other year, I think she'd probably have the edge. But I just don't see it happening. And I think she's going to get swept up in this wave that I see coming. Senator Laxalt, Senator-elect Laxalt, will be elected to his first term in the Senate. And that will be a flip. It'll be the second flip that I have made in my Senate election prediction videos. And if you've been following along with the math at home, currently it's 49 Republicans, 49 Democrats, and 1 runoff. No, sorry, 50 Republicans. Anyway, we have it. It's going to come down to Georgia. In the runoff in Georgia. Yeah. I will post another video in the coming days on my thoughts on the overall atmosphere and observations. I'll probably push that out this weekend. I may push it out before. we'll talk about that in the coming days, and then after Election Day, I'll hop back on here and see how everything panned out. But in Nevada, Laxalt flips the seat for the Republicans.